All right, good morning. Good morning. This is Khalid Nathan Aleem, the real estate bull. And today we're going to be talking about what? Real estate. So I'm going to give you my opinion of this article from WHYY PBS. What the article says is that 1,700 units of housing are set to vanish in the next 5 years, and there's little that Philly officials can do. So what they're talking about is public housing. So what they're saying is that in the next 5 years, 1,700 units could vanish. So what does this mean? In Philadelphia, there's already a shortage of housing. There's already a shortage of public housing. So they're saying that in the next 5 years, 1,700 units could vanish from public housing. All right, so let's get into the article. It says it's starting with this lady, Consuela Estirgo, gets teary when she talks about leaving her apartment at University City Townhomes. Now, if for those of you who don't know, University City is a place in West Philly, and it's been gentrified and it's being gentrified. So it is large, okay, but University City, they call it University City. Why? Because you have University of Penn down there, you have Drexel down there, you have the University of Sciences down there. So it's a bunch of universities down there. And if you're looking at Center City and you start to go west, as soon as you go west, you're in University City. So University City, the boundaries keep changing, but I say it goes down to like 52nd Street, okay? It goes from like 30th Street to 52nd Street. That's my opinion, okay? Somebody may say, no, it goes from here to here, but that's my opinion. From 30th Street down to like 52nd Street, you can probably get away with calling that University City, even though some people might say it stops maybe at 50th Street, okay? So it depends on who you're talking to. So let's go back to the article. The article says, and it's talking about this lady, Consuela, and it says that she's all teary-eyed because she has to leave her apartment complex in University City Townhome. So the article continues to say, not because she spent nearly 40 years of her life at the affordable housing complex in West Philly, and not because she's raised two of her kids there, who now have grandchildren who frequently visit her. Those facts certainly make the impending move harder to swallow, but Consuela gets emotional because she's genuinely worried about finding another landlord who will accept the rental voucher coming her way. A necessary participate. The owner has to participate in this Section 8 program, is what it's trying to say. Okay. Where she's living at right now, the property owner's decision this summer not to renew a long-running contract with the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. So where she's living at right now, okay, so let me get to what happened, okay? 1 second here. All right. Let me get to what happened. So when we have affordable housing. So affordable housing that everybody kind of understands is the projects, okay? The projects are homes that are built by HUD or built by the U.S. government. Now, they were originally supposed to be temporary housing. And I guess my thing is that we need to get back to that, is that they're temporary housing. The intent wasn't for somebody to be there 40 years. And again, I know people have situations, but the intent wasn't for people to be there for 40 years. So you have projects. And then you have developers who build these big communities, and then they lease them to the government. So what it is, it's a Section 8 program, but it's for an entire development. Okay, so this place that she lives at, University City Townhomes, it was a developer who built these homes, wasn't the government. A developer built these homes, and then they had a contract with the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, which is who? HUD. So they had this contract. So now the contract's running out. So it says everyone at the 70 unit complex has to be out by July. Now, why are they doing that? They're doing that because they probably feel like they can get more money on the open market. Because people do Section 8 a lot of time. I'm not saying all the time, because some people are just doing it out, as they say, the kindness of their heart. But a lot of people do Section 8 because in that area, maybe Section 8 is giving the most. And also it's federal money. So whether it's a bear market or it's a bear market or a bear market, that money's coming. And that's why people do Section 8. It's because the money is guaranteed per se. So that's why this developer probably did this, but now that place is gentrified. So now they can probably get a lot more money for their homes than what Section 8 is giving them, and it's probably offsetting. Because, all right, just think about it. Okay, so if you had a home and you were renting it out and you were getting Section 8, you would love to get guaranteed money, right? Of course you would. So just say you were renting it out for $1,000 and the government was giving you that $1,000 the first of the month. That $1,000 was in your hand. Okay, just imagine it. But if that place that you have that rental at gentrified, and now you can get $1,600 for that same property, that kind of offsets that $1,000. Yeah, there's more of a risk for the $1,600. There's more of a risk because now you're renting it to people. Now you're renting the property to the public versus renting it to the government. But there's a price in there where that guarantee doesn't make sense anymore. And that's what probably happened for this person. So the article goes on to say, I know people with vouchers who can't find a place now, Consuela said recently, from the large sectional inside her living room. So I guess they're interviewing her. So vouchers. If you don't know what vouchers are, okay, vouchers are basically coupons from the government saying, okay, if you rent to this person, they're qualified for $1,200. Okay, they're qualified for. All right, they're qualified for $1,200. So that's what the voucher is for. So people who go on Section 8, what they do is they go down the HUD and they apply. So they go down the HUD and they apply and they get a voucher. So now they have a voucher so they can go to landlords and say, hey, I got a voucher. Basically, the government's going to give me $1,200 a month. And then they go to different landlords. Now they can rent from a mom and pop's landlord, but that mom and pop's landlord has to be Section 8 approved. So they have to go on the HUD, they got to get certified, and their home has to get inspected. So the home gets inspected, and then it passes, and then they can use the voucher. So it's a whole setup, okay? They need help down there. PHA, okay, Philadelphia Housing Authority, okay? They need help down there. They need customer service help. That's the first thing. And they need systems help. They need better systems and better customer service, okay? PHA is famous for being hard to work with. And that's one reason why a lot of landlords don't do Section 8 is because the process that you have to go through with Philadelphia Housing Authority is crazy. It's straight up crazy. And their system is very hard. A lot, when you call customer service, a lot of people down there are super rude. Super rude. Okay, so let's move on. So it says similar agreements between property owners like Consuela's landlord, Altman Management Company, and government agencies like HUD underpin upwards of 34,000 affordable housing units across Philadelphia, according to the National Housing Preservation Database. So in Philadelphia, this company, Altman Management Company, they have a contract with HUD, and they give affordable housing. So you have the projects, okay? You got the projects that's run by the Philadelphia Housing Authority, okay? But then you have these other places, these other homes, which are managed by other folks, but they still they have a contract with HUD to provide these affordable homes. So, but it's a contract. So they don't have to re-up the contract. When the contract is up, the contract is up. And there's nothing the government can do about it. So they're saying that homes like this, where you have these massive homes or these massive complexes, and they're managed by a for-profit or nonprofit company, and they have contracts with HUD. There's 34,000 of them in Philadelphia. Okay. The article says that more than eclipses the 12,894 units of traditional public housing at the Philadelphia Housing Authority's projects or scattered site homes. That's what I just talked about. Okay, you got projects. So you have these homes, these affordable housing homes that are managed by companies that have contracts with HUD. They have 34,000 of them in Philadelphia, where projects, they only got, a little bit under 1,300. So as you can see, there's 3 times more of these homes that they just have a contract with HUD. So meaning what? When that contract is up, they can give them the peace sign and be out, and then rent those to the public. It's dangerous. The author, or not the author, but the article continues to say, but unlike publicly owned housing, federally assisted homes like University City townhomes rely on property owners tapping a variety of rental subsidies or rental credit deals in exchange for agreeing to restrictions that preserve developments as affordable housing for a set period of time. And that Consuela's building, this time is running out. So how does the government get these owners to give their homes for affordable housing? Okay, they give them rent subsidies, meaning that they give them a check every month, and they also give them tax credits. Okay, they give them tax credits also. So that's a way for them to soften the blow, because in our example, in the public, if they rented these properties to the public, maybe they'll get 16,000 or 1,600 a month. But if they do it for Section 8, they may get 1,200. So the government has to do something to incentivize somebody to do that, because most of these people are in business for what? They're in business to make money, and you want to make the most money possible. Okay. All right, let's move on. It says vouchers and tax credit housing have increasingly supplanted public housing nationally. But while these arrangements often last for decades, many thousands of units have also seen their affordability restrictions expire over the years. Some have been redeveloped or taken market rate. In Philadelphia, 1,700 units are tied to affordability restrictions that could expire over the next 5 years, and 3,400 over the next decade. Some have already run through their initial terms and are being re-upped essentially at the will of their respective owners. In all, more than 10% of all federally assisted housing units in the city are at potential risk. All right. What does this mean? This means that the public housing is really at the whim of private developers. That's what this is saying. This is saying that Philadelphia's public housing is at the whim of private developers or private landlords. Because when these contracts are up, you can't force them to do something. Now, I want y'all to do something for me. Hit the like button right now. Hit the like button. All right. Hit the like button while I'm going down this and share this out to 2 or 3 people, man. Share this out. All right. So it says, well, hold on. Let me stop. So more than 10% of all federally assisted. Yeah. Okay. So over the next decade, all right, Philadelphia, we already have a housing shortage. There's already an affordable housing shortage already. So what this is saying is that we can see a bigger problem. If these homes don't re-up with the government or the HUD, we can have a bigger problem. And we can have a bigger case of homelessness. Because if these people can't find, oh, I got a comment here. If these people can't find housing, where are they going to go? These people at university towns got to be out. They had to be out by July. So they got to find somewhere to go. Now, Philadelphia has been in this situation before when they tore down Richard Allen projects in North Philly. I mean, just North Philly, period. Back when I was growing up, you had the Richard Allen projects. There was many projects over there in North Philly. But what did they do? They smashed them. They smashed them in Philadelphia, across the country. Right, right. They brung those houses down, and a lot of them, and I know this because I'm from Frankfurt. So a lot of those people got displaced up to Frankfurt and that lower, like, northeast area. So that's the same thing that's going to happen with these people, okay? Is that they're going to get displaced to different areas that have a high Section 8 voucher population, all right? But even that, you have a bunch of people, a high demand for a small supply. And that's what we're looking at as far as vouchers. You have a high demand, small supply. All right, so the article continues, and while developers are creating new units under the same programs, experts say they're not signing on fast enough to replace the losses, let alone the attrition of non-subsidized unit rented by private landowners on the cheap. Observers see a slow-moving storm set to destabilize the housing market that is already strained by unmet demand for decent, affordable options. This is correct. This is correct. There's already a strain on the system. There's already a strain. There's a lot of people out there with vouchers that can't find homes. And a lot of them become homeless because they got to get out wherever they're at. And then this is a whole, there's a whole lot of issues that come. You got people squatting. And you got people just struggling to survive, man. All right, let's go down. It says, I think it's very serious. This was said by Greg Heller. Greg Heller is a director at management consulting firm Guidehouse and a former head of Philadelphia's Redevelop Authority, which has underwritten many affordable apartment developments. This is definitely a threat to affordable housing, not just Philadelphia, but worldwide. 1 second. All right, I'm back. This always happens when I'm on the live. It never happens when I'm not on the live, but it always happens when I'm on the live. Okay, so let's talk about displacement looms for tenants. So the article says in January, Brett Altman, who's the principal of the Altman Group that we talked about, told HUD that his company would not be renewing its affordable housing contract with University City Homes for the first time in 40 years. So this University City townhomes, it was affordable housing for 40 years. For 40 years. 40 years ago, that was the black bottom. Or as black people said, the bottom, but they called it the black bottom because that's where a lot of black people live there. Well, they're about to talk about it here. So let me just read this right here. It says, for residents and University City neighbors, the news came as a big blow. Built in 1983, the block-long complex on Market Street was constructed with the explicit goal of providing affordable housing in a section of West Philly reshaped by racist urban redevelopment practices or renewal practices. Known as the Black Bottom, the city demolished hundreds of neighborhood homes there in the late 19. Somebody's calling me. All right. I didn't mean to do that. Let's see. All right. So, known as the Black Bottom, the city demolished hundreds of neighbors. Who's that trying to go live with me? Okay. Can't do that right now, boss. Known as the Black Bottom, the city demolished hundreds of neighborhood homes there in the late 1960s and early 1970s to make way for more campus space and a science and technology hub, what is today known as the University City Science Center. All right, so yeah, so it was the Black Bottom. So they built these homes because they went in and they tore down a bunch of homes. Okay, so they built these homes 40 years ago as affordable housing. So now these affordable housing, Brent Altman, who's the leader or who's the principal of the Altman Group, he's like, okay, we're not reining this back up. Why? Because he can get a lot more money on the market. He can get a lot more money on the market. The article continues to say, now the site located in the same swiftly gentrifying neighborhood that the University of Penn and fast expanding Drexel University call home could be redeveloped with no obligation to build any affordable housing, while displacing dozens of working class Black residents. So far, the valuable site has drawn interest from real estate companies that focus on developing lab and manufacturer space for life science companies, according to the Philadelphia Business Journal. So you got money. You got money coming in. So you got money coming in, and it's a lot. It's a lot. So this is a huge article. I'm not going to read the whole article, okay? But the gist of the article is what? The gist of the article is that, oh, I do want to say something else, is that in this article, because I read the article beforehand, in this article, it says that this person that they're talking about, it's going to be hard for them to find a home, period. Because number one is that they have bad credit. So even if you have Section 8, the landlord is going to run your credit. And then she has open eviction cases because of her kids' court, like criminal cases. So she's going to have a tough time finding housing, period. All right, so tell her that back. Where does self-responsibility come in at? When does self-responsibility come in at? Because you can't do anything, and I'm not talking to this lady personally, but a lot of the people who have these issues for a reason. And at some point in time, we got to be responsible for the things that we've done. You're responsible for your credit. You're responsible for your credit. So since you're responsible for your credit, should you blame somebody else because you have bad credit? Of course not. Of course not. But even if you have a voucher, you need good credit. Even if you have a voucher, you have to watch about these evictions because they're going to do an eviction check also. You also have, and they also do eviction checks also. So anyway, all I want to say here, and I want to wrap this up with this, okay? If you are if you're looking for affordable housing, if you're in the projects, or if you're in one, if you're on Section 8 voucher, okay, and you're in Philadelphia, get your credit straight first, okay? And again, I have a credit repair company. So reach out to me if you need those services. But if you want to do it on your own, you can go to Google University or Google University, YouTube University. Okay. You need to fix your credit. You need to get financially straight. So if you're on Section 8 and you're only paying 30% of what the rent is, you should be stacking. You should be stacking. We should not be spending that money on mics, and we shouldn't be spending that money on new homes. And the thing about it is, I live in West Philly, so I go past these apartment complexes up 46th Street, and if you look out there, you see a bunch of nice cars. You see a bunch of nice cars. What should happen is you should see a bunch of hoopties, okay, and them taking that money and put it in the bank so they can get out of affordable housing. The sacrifice has to come somewhere. Yes, you need a reliable car, or getting a reliable car. Getting a reliable car, something small, but I drive past these affordable housing complexes and I see the nice cars out there. Nice cars. Now, I'm not saying people shouldn't have nice cars, but we should take that money and get an affordable used car and stack so we can get out of this affordable housing. This affordable housing was not supposed to be a permanent situation. It was not supposed to be a permanent situation. I understand people, sometimes it's hard. And sometimes people fall on hard times. Sometimes people get knocked down, but you can't stay down. You cannot stay down. You got to pick yourself up. You got to pick yourself up. And you pick yourself up how? By habits. By different habits. And if you really don't know about financial stuff, then you need to learn. Financial literacy is something that we talk about all the time. You got to learn, okay, what do I need to do with my money? Okay, damn, I need to get a second job. I need to go drive Uber. Okay, yes, I work hard. 9 to 5, I work, but I need to try to get out of this situation. Because as long as you are under somebody else's roof, they can dictate whether you got a home or not. They can kick you out. And that's what's happening to these people over here at University City Townhomes. I don't know this woman. Okay? But she really, it seems like she wasn't doing the things to get herself out of this situation. Out of this situation, meaning what? Meaning to stack her money, to get a second job or a third job so she can go and buy a home. And if she can't buy a home, at least move to a place that's not Section 8. This is part of the problem also. Being on Section 8 is not the issue. Staying on Section 8 is. I'm going to say that one time. Being on Section 8 is not the issue, but staying on Section 8 is. Why? Because they can control what happens to you. They can control where you live. And like these people at University City Townhomes, they can kick you out. And now they're putting you in a situation where you might be homeless. Because no one is taking your home voucher. Because there's a shortage of affordable housing in Philadelphia. At some point in time, we got to be responsible for our situation. And that means what? That means sacrificing. You may not be able to sit on the couch. You may not be able to go out at night or go to that party because you got to work. We got to sacrifice to get out the situation. We're going to have to learn. We just can't keep looking at rap videos. We just can't keep looking at binging on Netflix. You're going to have to turn on YouTube and learn something. You're going to have to Earn Your Leisure, which is a financial literacy YouTube channel. If you don't know what that is, that's a problem. You're going to have to go on there and type in financial literacy and see what comes up. You're going to have to watch shows on YouTube like Social Proof, where they talk about entrepreneurship. So some of us can get out of this 9 to 5, day in and day out. 9 to 5 is cool. I'm not saying nothing about 9 to 5. But we got to have something for ourselves. Have some type of side hustle. Everybody should have a side business. Everybody should have a side business. I'm not going to say a side hustle. Some people call it side hustle, but I call it business. Everybody should have a home-based business because you giving them people 40 hours, and some of y'all giving them more. But what are you giving yourself? What are you giving yourself? Find something. Okay. And you say, all right, well, I don't know what to do. I don't know what side business to do. Do Uber. Uber's a side business. You're an independent contractor. It's a side business. But you say, well, no, I don't drive or I don't have a car. Find something that you like. Whatever you like to do that and find a way to monetize it. Simple. Whatever you like to do, do that and monetize it. Find a way to make money doing what you like. That's the secret. Find out what you like to do and monetize it. All right, y'all. So all I got for the day. Catch me in the morning, every morning between 8, 9, something like that. Same back channel. If you're looking to buy a home, sell a home, or invest in real estate, I got you. All right, y'all. I'm out.